Hello, I'm Bernard Percy. I'm the co-founder and president of the Foundations of Brilliance. I'm an educator, and I've worked with students of all ages, children, adults, and one of the common problems I found are that people do not know and really have certainty on what they really want to do in terms of their career or education. They're what I call wandering wanderers. I wonder, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I be that? There's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unhappiness. And most people I know are not really very thrilled about the work they do. Some go to work with kind of an attitude of, okay, I have to do it, I have to support my family. Others go, well, I guess it's a thing to do. Some go, yeah, I'm going to work, this is great. Well, a great problem is really figuring out what would be the best career for yourself. I've had about 10 or 11 different careers in my professional life, always as an educator. I would say half of those jobs were jobs like, or, and the other half was like, I began to wonder, what was the difference between the jobs? Well, I was working at a job for 7 years that didn't bring me the greatest happiness. I would go to work every day with an attitude like, get to work. You know, it's kind of that, I got pulled to work, but it wasn't a lot of enthusiasm. Then I was asked to become the co-founder and editor-in-chief of a magazine, you know, and I never worked for a magazine before. But I knew it was going to be a better job than what I was doing, because I was working with developing training programs and marketing materials for companies. But I loved working directly with people. I love helping to inspire and motivate people, and I wasn't doing that. When they asked me to be involved in working with this magazine, I thought, well, it just might be more the kind of the same thing. I wouldn't really be working directly with people. But I began to realize that I had a certain purpose that really motivated me. And I was throwing out everything I created for 10 years working at this other job. I said, I'm never going back to it, because I knew I had to make a change. And we call it burning my bridges. In other words, you get rid of the bridge so you can't cross back to where you were. You have to only go forward. So I threw away everything I had created for 7 to 10 years in these other jobs, because I never wanted to go back to it. And I'm going through files, looking at papers. Then I came across a paper somebody wrote me. And when I looked at that paper, it told me something about myself that I'd forgotten. And it was a purpose that really motivated me. What really motivates me is to really be on the communication lines of the world with truth, to help make people more aware and in action, where they're doing things and creating things. And I realized that if I could become the co-founder and editor-in-chief of this magazine, which they were asking me to become, I could really inspire and motivate people across the world. And as soon as I realized that this job so aligned to a purpose which was important to me, I said, this is the right job for me. And so it's for students. It's also for those who are in the workforce, who know there's something better or different for them. They're not getting a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment that they want from the job they have. But they're not quite sure what to do, or they feel kind of trapped and stuck in the position they're in because of the money they're making, the money they have to make to meet the demands of the family and so on. But what really would give them the satisfaction, that would give them the joy and sense of pride of workmanship of what they're doing? And they're looking for something different. Some people call it a midlife crisis. I'm not happy at what I'm doing. What could I do? What should I do? What would be the right path for me? So it's for those who are in the workforce right now. And the third group are those who are retiring, and they have 10, 15, 20 years of life to create with. Okay? What do I do now? Do I sit home? Do I go fishing? Do I just sit home and watch television? What can I do? You know, people are really happiest when they're productive and have a meaningful direction they're going in. There's a quote that a friend of mine said, people do not stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams. And what you want to do is help people to really keep pursuing those dreams at any age of their life. And certainly people who are retired often think, well, I fulfilled my dreams, okay, I'll just sit around and do what I do. And they become unhappy and bored and not pleased with the quality of their life. So the program is really designed for students who have to make the decision, What do I want to study? What direction do I want to go in? Do I want to go to school? Do I want to go into the workforce? Those in the workforce who are saying, there's something more, I'm not quite happy with the career path, I'm not getting the joy and satisfaction I need. What would be a better path for me? And it's for those who are retiring or are retired going, okay, what do I do now? They have the talent, they have this knowledge, they have all this background of experience. How can I best use that so that my next phase of life becomes as productive and meaningful, or maybe more productive and even more meaningful than the first part? See, one of the things that really surprised me when I started working on developing and delivering the program several years ago is how few people really understand and know what their talents are. Now, a talent is a natural ability to do things well that can be developed into a greater skill. And most people, when I ask the question, tell me about your talents, said, I don't have any, or I have very few, I'm not sure how good they are. See, they don't recognize and understand the talents they do have, because what they do so easily and naturally, they don't consider a talent. They think, well, you have to be studying for years and years to develop a talent, or you have to be an artist or an athlete, or something like that. But we're all loaded with so many wonderful talents that we don't recognize about ourselves. And one of the great joys I have in working with people is to see them brighten up and start going, wow, that's right, I have that talent. I worked with one man who was a very successful engineer, and I asked him, tell me about your talents. He said, that's the ruin of my life, I don't have any. I said, well, aren't you good at something at work? And he said, well, yeah, I'm really good at being able to fix machinery, make sure they're working at an optimum condition. As a matter of fact, he said, other people have to use special machinery to get the machines I work on to work properly. I just listen and I adjust them with my ears because I have the ability to really understand and observe just from listening. And he goes, oh, that's a talent, isn't it? I can observe and understand things in a way that other people can't. All of a sudden he realized he has this talent he never realized was a talent. See, so people begin to learn and understand more about themselves. And they begin to understand certain patterns of talents begin to emerge. That's right, I can do that. I see how I use this talent in so many different areas of my life. That pattern and that talent keeps coming up.
I became my own business after the Foundations of Brilliance, which is huge, life-changing for me, because I was already committed to being an artist for the rest of my life. This is what I love to do, being a musician, being an entertainer. This is what I said I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But how do you monetize that? I thought I had to do other things to monetize it. And really, after I did the Foundation of Brilliance workshop with you, I realized all I got to do is get a few things straight, clarify a few things about who I am, where I'm going, what my purpose is, and I was off to the races. And now I am very, very successful, on my way up to being even more successful and reaching more people with my music and my voice. And that is because the Foundation of Brilliance program taught me the basics of how to do that.